Thank you very much. My name is Chris Beks. I'm with North Pole Peonies, and I want to show you the most beautiful product that this state is exporting. And I mean, oil, wood, and some of the other things that we've shown here today. That's great, and they're beautiful as well, but nothing like this. Back in 2003, my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, started with 25 roots, 25 peony plants, and called me up and said, "Hey, Chris, we're starting this flower business." They had a vegetable farm and berry farm. I said, "We're doing this. You're Dutch. Let's join. Come on." And while I am Dutch, I had never grown a flower in my life. So I said, "Well, I don't know. Let's try it out." But a few years later, my wife and I joined them, and this is now a family business, a family farm. And we're up to almost 13,000 plants, and it's a beautiful farm. It's gorgeous. Unique Alaskan farm. We're one of the largest farms in the interior, and I was previously part of the Arctic Alaska Peony Co-op in Fairbanks. There's a lot of farms in the state of Alaska. I think there's probably about 150 farms growing peonies. We're one of the larger ones, and this year, this is kind of what our farm looks like. This is towards the end of the season this year. As you can see, the petals are falling off, but it's a really beautiful place. And these days, it's a 3-generation farm too, because my kids, when they weren't even born yet in '03, are now helping out. So it's Grandma, Grandpa, me and my wife, and our 3 kids. We hire a small farm crew during the height of the season, but most of the time it's just us. And this is what I'm talking about. These kind of flowers are coming from this state. Tons of them. It's currently estimated that we produced about 500,000 stems this year, which sounds like a lot, but on a world market, he alluded to it earlier, it's not even a drop in the bucket. This is a 400 million stem market, and so 500,000 really is, like the rest of the world, is starting to take notice, but these are absolutely beautiful flowers, and we grow them, and the reason it's so unique in Alaska is because during the months of July, August, and even part of September, we just wrapped up our season, Alaska is the only one that has peonies at that time in anywhere in the world. Yes, they could grow them in other places, but we have the infrastructure. We're close to international airports, and we're able to ship worldwide. Gorgeous flowers, and we have less disease, less bugs. Our peonies are brighter thanks to our midnight sun. Our peonies are bigger, again, thanks to our midnight sun. And because of our climate, we have less disease and less bugs, and so the quality is quite high. We grow some of the best peonies in the world in this state. We chill them and then ship them out. And previously, we thought our exporting was just domestic. As a farm, we were one of the first to ship to Canada, which came with some challenges, but had just small shipments and small boxes going into Canada. Mainly because the word of mouth on social media was such that we kept getting calls. Well, where are you? In Canada. I'm in Ontario. Why can't you just ship it here? I guess so. Yeah, why not, right? And so that's what we started a few years ago, because this is our customer. I mean, not really. We sell the wholesale. We sell the floral designers. But if you have a bride who says, "But I want peonies," guess what any floral designer will do? They'll scour the world to see if they can find the flowers their bride wants. I no longer have to deal with brides directly. We no longer sell to consumers. because I can tell you that is not a job I want. My hat off to those floral designers. But this is why. And we get pictures like this on Instagram. And so this year, we shipped to the UK. We were part of a small order to Vietnam and then to Canada. And this is how we're doing that. And as you can see, those routes go from Alaska usually to the lower 48 first and then out. And especially, for smaller orders, 1,000 or so, well, it's hard to compete with that. But the UK order was a test order. And that test was for 30,000 peonies over about 4 weeks. Sounds like a lot. That's a test order for these guys. What that client really wants is 100,000 a week. Okay? And that's what they look like. He's a distributor. They take him, and then, as you see in the photo, they make absolutely beautiful bouquets with them. And that's our success, because it was a test. 30,000 stems. We shipped it 10,000 a week for 3 weeks. With not just us, but that was part of the co-op and a couple of other farms in and around Fairbanks. Say, hey, you know what? We got a call because our customer said, I have a client who has stores. She sees these pictures on Instagram, and we talked about it, and I said, well, you know what? I'll look into it. We'll do it next year. He says, I got a call back. I said, no, make it happen this year. I'm tired of having people ask me about Alaskan peonies. I need them now. Within the short time frame of 3 weeks, from the initial contact to the first shipment, 3 weeks, we made it happen. And it was a lot of collaboration, very short time frame, but very successful. Everybody was happy. We're happy as farms. Our logistics partner in LA is pretty happy. The distributor was happy, and the store where these bouquets were sold in were also very happy. Yes, there were lots of problems in between, and we'll figure out how we do that. We just wrapped up our season, so we're kind of evaluating. But it was very successful, and that's just one customer in one country. Opportunities for us are, we need to shorten our transportation. What we did is we shipped from Fairbanks to Seattle, from Seattle to LA, from LA to London. The travel time in between that is too long. What I'd like to do is ship Fairbanks, Anchorage, Anchorage, London. I think we can. I don't know yet, but that's my job and a couple of the other people that worked with me this season, is to try and find partners and ways to figure out how to ship them directly from Alaska. We have the infrastructure, and directly to London. We have customers and interests out of Japan, out of China, out of Vietnam. There's a big market for us. And that gives us the other, our biggest challenge really, which is, the logistics and transportation, yes. Cold chain management, yeah. Our flowers are very sensitive to temperature changes. So we keep them cold. I'll show you a few pictures of our flowers in the coolers. We cool everything for 48 hours so that we know our flowers. We don't pick them when they're open. We pick them when they're closed, ready to open. And then we put them in a cooler so they stay closed. We try to keep them cool when we ship them, but that's a challenge. The minute those flowers start getting warmer is when they start opening up. And we don't want them to open up. We want them to open up in the bouquet in the store, or even better, on a customer's table or in a bouquet for a bride. Our biggest problem is quantity. Those 150 farms in Alaska are not producing enough peonies. We couldn't possibly fill 100,000 peony stem order every week for 8 weeks. Even if you combined every other grower in the state of Alaska, we just don't have them. And that's our biggest challenge. We ship them in those square boxes. That's a bouquet that you saw in the stores in London. And our opportunities are to expand our collaboration and find local Alaskan logistic providers to help us shorten our route. But that's our biggest challenge, I think, is this. It's working together. It's working together as growers, as logistic providers, to help get this state on the map as showing beautiful peonies that are coming as a product from this state. Thank you.